first 2 or 3 days of the shoot. Nag, you're walking like a hero. Don't walk like that, please.
So you take a massive star and then you say, don't walk like a hero.
I said,
When I first wanted Dhanush to do, I was like, really, he's a director, actor, everything. He's a lyricist, I mean, everything. So
And he's superb.
He's like a multifaceted individual who understands everything. And I wanted to tell him something. I was like really scared to one more take or what. How does he do?
Dhanush got into the character straight away. I mean, the first day when I came into the shoot, it took me almost 2-3 minutes to find where Dhanush was.
I slowly realized that this is somehow I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to tell a story about the oppressed.
Because these numbers are temporary. Now it's 1,000. 2 years from now it'll be 2,000. And I had so many records.
Yeah.
Correct.
If you
Yes.
look at my earlier films, every record was broken the next year. So it doesn't matter.
Nag Shekhar, welcome to the Hollywood Reporter India. I love Hyderabad and I'm so happy to be sitting here with you in this very lovely theatre. And Nag, like our last interview, I'm going to start by saying you've given me permission to call you Nag.
Yes, yes, Anupama, thank you. I like it like that.
Because otherwise I will get trolled. You know how it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
No, my fans are very nice. They will not troll you. I promise you that.
You know, I want to start with something that Dhanush said at the Mumbai event. And it was really lovely. He said that you make a lot of films, you meet a lot of people, but when you meet a Sekhar Kammula, the travel seems worth it.
It's like
It was so lovely. And he talked about how clear you are and how pure you are. And you talked about how true to his heart he is, right? And I want to unpack this a little with you. Shekhar, as an artist, what is this being true to your heart? And after 25 years in the business, how are you still being true to your heart?
I just give it to, I mean, it's God's grace, I think, because I started off telling some stories, and then I came the hard way, tried to pitch it, and then somehow it happened that it worked, the Anand or Dollar Dreams or whatever, and then from then on, audience actually, they gave me that kind of position where I cannot do anything else. Like, I cannot actually wear anything else also. It's like that. So it's like, I mean, Telugu audience, they think, hey, this guy is simple. So I don't put on or anything. I'm like that, and they take it like that. So somewhere it just, I feel lucky that I could make my stories, tell my stories the way it is. And then there's that, I mean, commercial, I mean, in terms of cinema language, there's that commercial edge and the true filmmaking. So somehow in Telugu, it worked for me. So I don't know, I mean, it's really, what do you call, I feel honored that Dhanush said and Nag said. It is really honored, and then I don't know what it is. Even now, if somebody comes for a photo or a signature or autograph, I feel I'm not worth it. So I believe that. So nothing put on or whatever. But I just go on like that. So it's like,
It's not that you don't think you're not worth it. I think you think, why?
Why?
Why? That's all.
Why am like everybody has you have
Yeah.
your see it's like some belief that comes, and I'm really glad that that's why sometimes I say that I won't share this position of mine with anybody else, any money, anything, but I'm very contented and happy. Main reason is some story comes up and I lace it with some social issue and then put it across to people, and then I'm able to do that. That's the greatest thing. So that's the greatest, as a filmmaker, I feel really proud and happy about that. So, and other things, personality and all, it's really very great of them or Dhanush or anybody to say anything like about me. So I'm really honored and I feel humble actually.
But you know, you've spent almost 4 decades, and that's as an adult actor, right? You were an infant when you first came into the movies.
Yeah, I did not know.
Right, and but you've been in the movies for almost 4 decades.
4 decades,
Is
yeah.
this purity? Is this being true to the heart? Is it rare?
Shekhar? Oh, you talking
Shekhar, yeah.
It's very rare. I've seen Shekhar not from Right From Now, from maybe 25 years ago.
25 years.
25 years ago, I've known Shekhar, and there's not a single thing that has changed about him as a personality.
Really?
It is the same Shekhar. Exactly, he approached me then the same way. He approached me now after being one of the topmost directors in Telugu. He approached me the same way, exactly with that same childlike innocence and telling me the story with so much excitement and hoping that I will do the film. You
I
know,
was really hoping.
he was really, see, that he could have. All he had to, I mean, at his stature, you know, he doesn't have to feel like that, but he genuinely feel like that. And when I see him work on films, he's really childlike, very pure, very this thing. You know, Dhanush said something which struck me at the Chennai event. We have rain. We have rain because people like him they're still alive on earth. You didn't understand that. you didn't understand it. And he didn't understand. He was so childlike and he was clapping. Because he didn't understand it. But that's what Dhanush said.
How lovely.
Yeah, he said there's such pure people are still alive. That he is very, very sure. And this is not just me. You talk to anybody in the unit. You pick out any person. They will say the same thing. It's just not about filmmaking. It's film. So I feel this purity, this innocence, and this passion towards the craft, to telling stories, the social issue, he takes it so deeply inside that it transcends onto the movie and it comes out.
Yeah.
That's why his movies
It connects.
It connects.
Yeah.
It comes out onto the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's less said whatever we are saying to him. You know, there's so much more
Yeah. Yeah.
depth, so much more depth in it.
You know, when I was researching for this interview, I read that your cinema is not about sort of very complex staging or very fanciful camera movements, but you're an author by virtue of your writing. Because what you write, the stories you tell, the characters you create are so unusual and so distinctive. And you yourself have said that the men you create have a softness. You said they will accept, they will not impose.
Correct.
So, Nag, tell me, after 4 decades of playing all kinds of characters, what is your sense of this Sekhar Kammula man, and what makes him unique?
I will, before I start off, I will tell you the first 2 or 3 days of the shoot. Now you're walking like a hero. Don't walk like that, please.
So you take a massive star and then you say, don't walk like a hero.
I said, Shekhar, this is how I walk. It's not for the film. No. I just walk normally.
That's fab.
So this, I mean, his, and he had told me the story also. When he told me the story, he said, Deepak's character is very close to him. This is what he would be like if he was an officer, or he would be exactly. So he said it's very author-backed for me. That character, it is his favorite character. Not only him, all his ADs and co-directors, everybody told him, you're lucky you got this character. Okay. But his characters, as I see in the film, are very, first of all, they're very humble. Second one, they're very straightforward. There is no, it is what you see is what you get. And that is what this character is about. And there is a sense of niceness to, even if I know that the opposite guy is evil. But there's still the sense of niceness.
They're decent.
Decent.
Yeah.
Very decent
Yeah.
character. That's what he made me play. I don't know if I'm
Correct,
saying it right.
Correct.
And there's a constant guilt in the character that what I'm doing is it good enough? Is it right enough? Should I do more? So that's his characters.
Correct.
And I think that's him. About everything.
Is that a feeling you have as a storyteller, that should I do more?
Absolutely, it's very true.
Really?
Very restless, very every film or every story or every I mean that's normal to every human being, I guess. But I could do better, could say something else, or this goes on
So,
constantly.
so you're not one who pats himself on the back?
I don't. I'm really afraid. I'm really afraid of praise also. If it goes like it's really great, I think did I do that kind of like? So I feel seriously. I feel like that. And I want to mention that you mentioned that softness in the guy. See, people generally write about me is like a feminist kind of a female kind of oriented films he makes and all that. But off late I've been told, and I'm telling that guys are actually really good. I mean, you have to see. I mean, you have to emulate them more than the girl in my films because they are really decent and they let be, or what you call, they give that space.
Yeah.
So that's a good question that I wanted to bring up sometimes, because there is that fida where that girl
Yeah.
comes back, and then the greatest thing is that guy comes back and stays.
Absolutely. In
And
the
then,
end, he's with
but
her.
you say it's a story of a girl and Targaryen.
Yeah.
The guy coming back
He gives up America. He gives up the great dream. Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah.
So we have to celebrate that. I think to celebrate the guys in my films than the girl in the films. I'm realizing that later.
Yeah.
Even Godavari, Sumant played one.
Yeah.
A superb like how he plays the entire thing.
Yeah.
And you're not doing this by design. This is what comes from you.
Correct. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Just not by design. I didn't think when I started. I didn't even think that I was like something like feminist, like kind of approach or anything. I just thought, okay, the girls have this, the girls likes and dislikes. They have their opinions and they have the self-respect. They work. They things like that, simple things, and I took it up. That's Anand. I was telling loudly that I didn't do anything special. It's just the girl had some opinion. That's all.
True.
What a novelty. A woman with an opinion. At that Mumbai launch, again, there was a very sweet moment when you said to Rashmika, who's of course one of the leads in the film, that she's the one with the 1,000 crore movies, right? Which was really nice. I just thought it was just such a sweet moment. But the truth is that there is so much pressure now, right, to hit this 1,000 crore, which of course emerged from this very city because Mr. Rajamouli gave us the first 1,000 crore movie with Bahubali 2. But now, do you feel, and the pressure is so much on men, right? Because the 100, 200 crores is now,
the heroes,
matlab ki kya hai, big deal. Like we need to hit 800, we need to hit 1,000. Do you feel any of this? Or are you in a sense now beyond the box office?
I never
Probably never. Yeah.
Never struck me about these numbers. These numbers are temporary. Now it's 1,000. 2 years from now it'll be 2,000. And I had so many records.
Yeah.
Correct.
If you look at my earlier films, every record was broken the next year. So it doesn't matter after a while. So I really doesn't.
His kind of, I think his choice of films were speak than the box office. Like his very, very, very differently experimental, but they just worked wonders.
They worked wonders.
Shiva, Annamaya, whatever. Very, you couldn't imagine him playing Annamaya or something.
So you never sort of bought into this
Numbers
pressure.
game was never for me. It never. The only game that was, what can I do different next? That's the only thing I was looking at all times.
Yeah.
Numbers game is not. I don't think it should affect anybody also, because they're not. I mean, it's not like I'm being some wise saint saying nothing is permanent. I'm not saying that. It's just going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just be realistic about this.
Be realistic.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a shelf life. Be realistic about it.
Well, you're pretty evergreen. we're not discussing shelf lives with you.
Correct.
Shekhar, you of course also made Love Story with Che. So before you started this, did you call him to get intel on the dad, or did you call him to get intel on Shekhar? That what was it like to work with him? Was there any,
With Che?
With Che, yeah. Did you guys try and, get something interesting from him?
About me.
No,
Yes, or vice
see,
versa?
I'm not looking like a fan kind of a youngster, but we grew up Shiva. I know when Shiva happened, I remember I was in college and he and Amala were sitting and I just sneaked into I just gave some bribe to the fellow in the thing and then went in and said, I said hello and then took an autograph and went. So it's like, I know him, like we study him, we follow him, so that when he walks and all, I can instantly say this is a star. No, don't do it. Or his mannerisms and all everything. I mean, not even need to research. We know. It's like grew up, so it's like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that is the star moment. That's a star hand raise. Or that's a look. Everything is like
You've studied
we
it. Yeah.
studied by not by intent research or anything. It's by it's in our DNA. Kind of say he's that kind of a star. Like,
Yeah.
they call him Manmadhura, and he's true to Manmadhura.
What does that mean?
Manmadhura means the most. He's a god of love. Manmadhura he looks very. I mean that's Manmadhura's definition, but Manmadhura is for in a colloquial terms is a ever charming guy, a good looking guy.
Ever charming is a good description. What about you? Did you get any notes from Che?
Yeah, I did ask Che, how is it, Ra, working with this?
Should have said this goes on.
What did he say?
Che said, yeah, Nana, they're laid back. They do it at their till they get it right, of course, but it's lots of fun. Shekhar is like a little kid. He'll be running around, jumping around, but be ready for 150 days of shoot, he told me. And he said it's not that a shoot which they need to do for 150 days. They want a real location. They'll go there and do one shot. But the whole day is gone because of that. Like that, it comes. But that's for the truth of the film. For the film needs it. But the truth is that what he said, you will enjoy. I know you like doing different things. You will enjoy working with Shekhar. You are going to be completely a different person than what you are. Something else will come out of you in the character. So, and that was and that was encouraging enough for me. You know?
Yeah. You know, you're talking about research. You had said about Love Story that for Che, you had your team look at all his films, all his interviews, and then you sort of noted down mannerisms, right? Which he was repeating, and you told him, don't do that. Correct? Did you do that with Nag?
No, Nag,
you know by heart.
I know by heart, but with Che, I didn't watch all his films or not many films. So that our team they sat and they recorded and showed me, and then we were sitting and discussing. And with Nag, I know his.
Only don't walk like that.
It's a swag.
No, I wanted to present it in a different way of like. See, sometimes you'd like when time comes, a star when he acts or when he does like a very common man, it looks so special. With Shah Rukh, it happened with Shah Rukh when he does certain films like normal things. You love him like Chak De or something. You just I was saying something like that. So and the real persons, I actually even with Che and Nag, the real persons are much more and more interesting, lovable. How he talks, how he behaves, how we chat and all is much more interesting than actually his acting. Like, so I wanted to bring that out. I wanted to bring that out.
Yes, I know.
But Shekhar, here's a cast with, of course, him, but then there's Dhanush, then there's Rashmika, then there's Jim Sarbh, right? And all very, very accomplished actors who you are trying to plug into one frequency. Tell me about what that takes.
It was. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue because I didn't work with so many stars. It's the first time. So when I first wanted Dhanush to do, I was like, really, he's a director, actor, everything. He's a lyricist, I mean everything. So
he's superb.
He's like a multifaceted individual who understands everything. And I wanted to tell him something. I was like, really, scared to one more take or what? How does he do? But he's generally a one-take artist. It's just one nuances here and there. And then Nag, yes, I thought I was comfortable because I felt, see, with them I'm like, I feel like we're just, I'm a little brother or something like that.
Known each other for a while.
No formalities or something. Just tell him off. But when Jim was a surprise.
My
Like
God.
when he first came, I thought this guy he actually doesn't know Hindi also. Like he just only English. So when he came in, I thought like I have to just now Telugu and Tamil he has to say and also, but he wanted his lines and then suddenly comes in the first scene with Nag. We were just shocked. Like he just he by hearted and he comes with that, and it's really difficult. And then all nuances, he sits with an assistant directors and every day he, and when they both jammed, it's one instance that I thought this movie will work wonders because it just they both opened up like anything and then it was like fantastic. And the Rashmika is, she's again like a sweetheart because she does very she did a very special role and she, I mean, you love it, I can't explain, but she's like very so they all just somehow it just organically fell in place. So I had apprehensions, but it just opened up. I think thanks to, I mean, first Nag, because for the senior, and I think they would have a lot of inhibitions or sitting next to Nag or acting. So he made it like cool. So combinations are all worked out really well. So and I'm really glad. It just
Jim was just something else to do.
fantastic.
My God.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like here, Telugu and South will want him like anything after this film. They would just, I feel.
Yes, something else.
You know, Nag, you had told me that you sort of modulate your pitch as an actor depending on the co-star.
Yeah.
So you said that actually when you worked with Che, you lowered your pitch because you said instinctively he's a quieter actor,
Yeah.
right? But Dhanush is someone who can do like very quiet, but he can also be larger than life. How did working with him challenge you as an actor?
It became quite easy because Dhanush got into the character straight away. I mean, the first day when I came into the shoot, it took me almost 3 minutes to find where Dhanush was. You know, in his this thing, and he was he just blended into the background, and that's what his character.
That's what he's meant to be.
Meant
yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
And somewhere when he explained to me, it was almost like I had to take him to be my younger brother. Supposed to be, you know,
Yes.
the relationship.
So it just worked out that way.
So it automatically worked on because he was so much into the character, and I always respond. That's the way I work. I'm not a method actor or anything. I just respond to my
What's happening in the moment.
And he was guiding me throughout. So I completely surrendered to Shekhar. Right in the beginning, I said, "You don't need to tell me anything, Shekhar. No more scripting. Nothing. I don't need to know anything else. I surrender to you. Tell me exactly how you want me." And Dhanush was always in it.
So he's the method actor.
Minute he steps into the sets, he's there.
He becomes the guy.
He becomes the guy. So it's automatically you react to him.
There's so many things I didn't even realize. When I first met Dhanush, I said this film needs you to be leaner and very weak, frail in the beginning part. He said, "You're the only guy who's asking me because he's known for already lean, and people complain that he's lean. They want to see him like a bigger boy." And he said, "You're the only one." I thought he gently. I thought he said no. But I realized that slowly I was just seeing that he worked out in his food and everything, and he looked frail. And he completely, and he's in throughout the film, in any one scene, if I had to go back and do it again, he said it's the most difficult thing because I've let it go because it stayed this many days or something. So he's like that. He just stays in his head, the characters. So he lives the part. And then he does multiple things. I don't know. He's like Superman, and then suddenly he goes and then directs and then comes. It's like super
chameleon.
Super guy.
He is a chameleon. He really is. He really is.
Yeah.
Shekhar, you had said that on any film, for you, the guiding light is the question: why am I making this film?
Yeah.
So, what was the answer for this film?
oh, this film is it gave me more than the answers, because yeah, when I make a suppose a fida or a female oriented film, I just find like it's like wise will come a little slowly, like okay, this is what it is. But uh, this is something else. This canvas, this is a film about ideologies and the current state of our world or nation. So it's like a person. It's a very beautiful conflict about a person who wants to be like who wants everything, to grab everything to live. So grabbing is the way of living, and living for grabbing. I mean, living to grab and grab to live. It's the kind of thing. And then one more guy who's like who lives for as an individual. All of us are like that. Who just for convenience or whatever comfort zones, we tend to ignore certain things and get comfortable, and that's one thing. And then other guy who just survival ke liye, he has to he has to live. So just survival is the struggle. So this range of I mean strata of people putting together in a story itself is a very challenging thing, and I'm really glad and I'm like to my co-writer Chaitanya or me, and whatever it occurred, whatever that story occurred to me is itself a blessing. So it's like, so there's wise will. I mean, there are a number of wise that I can tell about this. So this has to be told, uh, and more in one line. I think I mean, I spoke about women in like in a very subtle way. I made films for women centric or women partial to women, but I slowly realized that this is somehow I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to tell a story about the oppressed. So wherever it is, in whatever subtlety, in maybe urban, very high class, or a low class, or a woman, or a Dalit, or whatever.
Like in
So
Love Story,
yeah,
you know, one
so
was caste, one is
yeah,
gender.
So I'm just finding my path more clearly. So I'm just tending to say that I'm rooting, or I want to tell stories about the untold or the oppressed or the underdog. Not underdog is a different thing, but this story will. It's
People who are
that the why
marginalized.
marginalized, yes.
Yeah.
At any stage, any kind. I mean, religion, caste, whatever thing. So or woman, anything. Yeah. Poor, poverty, class, caste, religion, whatever, and then gender. So this is one class marginalization kind of story. So the why is very. I'm there at the why.
You're very clear with the why.
Why, yeah.
But you know, you are known for a specific signature cinema, right? What was the challenge of now scaling that up, right? Taking it, so many actors, I'm assuming the budget was much bigger than what you've handled before. This is, of course, going to be dubbed into 5 languages, or you shot Tamil and Telugu, and it's going to be dubbed into 3 more. So, what is the sort of difficulty of scaling up the Sekhar Kammula signature?
I didn't even think I was scaling up. It's just that the story demanded that kind of a thing. It had a beggar, and it had a billionaire, and it had Bombay, and it had Nag, it had DSP, it has Rashmika, it has Jim Sarbh. Everybody fell in place into the characters, and then it required the amount. I had to show Bombay, so we had to show real things, and then we didn't. And it's a very big budget film, true, but it didn't. It's the spend is not like Nag said. It's not like. Just for the sake of it, the real nature of the film demanded it. So I never thought about scaling up. It's just that certain stories had to be told like that. Happy Days had to be told in a college, so we stayed and for happily shot. So this has to be told like a Bombay, the central business center for the financial capital of India. That is, so it has to be there, and the scam related thing, and the money, and the greed, and the suffering, it exists. Bombay, I mean, all of them coexist. So the story demanded it. The scale happened automatically, and then the difficulty, yes, it was there, bringing together this. And it took time. It took a lot of space and all. And then, but I was not conscious that array this is going to be this is a big big budget. No, the story just directed me, I think.
And after this, you could go to making another small, more personal.
Yeah, something if just occurs. I loved recently. What is that? I forgot the movie. Kiran Rao's movie. What is that?
Oh, Lapata Ladies. Yes.
See, this is like Hrishikesh Mukherjee.
Yes.
It was like So happy movies, and that's it's stories to tell. So beautiful. It's not like big or small.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
It
Just
doesn't
what
matter.
makes you
Yeah.
happy and what makes it is a purpose to it. So
Yeah.
I think could happen.
Nag, when you were asked to sort of reflect on your journey, you said there have been good years, there have been bad years, but there have never been boring years.
Yeah.
Which I
True.
thought was lovely.
Yeah,
You
true.
know, and 2025 will certainly not be a boring year because
No.
after Kubera, you've got Coolie
Yeah.
with the mighty Rajnikant.
Yeah.
And what I really admire is that, you know, after all these decades of being this massive star, you're not fussed about being a leading man. It's not about the length of the role for you.
True. Yes, that's true.
And it takes a certain amount of security as an actor to find that place. When did you find this?
I found this right from the beginning.
Really?
Right from the beginning, right after Shiva, actually. I think the first time I accepted a film called Khudagawa,
Yes.
I was not the leading man, and I had this huge Shiva and Gitanjali right behind me. And I needn't have done that. Like that, I've done spurts of roles which I really, really liked, like in Zakam, if you know, in Hindi film. And like there's some Telugu films also. But this right now, in the last 2-3 years, I've been very, very confused about the roles I want to do and what I was getting. And I wanted to move into a different genre like Kubera or Coolie or something where I could really experiment with myself. Have fun, going to shoots and working. And so when Shekhar came to me, it showed me a way. It was a path which he opened up for me. And I did this role. And then when I was doing this, I think actually Brahmastra did that, which I did. It was a very small role in Brahmastra, but a very impactful role for that film. In that film, I think mine was the most impactful.
It was. I will agree with you.
I'm also gloating about it. But and when he came and this came, and I don't know how Lokesh came to me, and the first thing he said, "Do you mind playing an antagonist?"
And you're just like,
I said,
it's fun,
"Yeah,
let's do
tell
it."
me the script. I'll think about it. I'm not against it." He said, "If you don't want to play an antagonist, we'll have a cup of tea and talk and things, and I'll leave. I have no problem." And I said, "Please tell me the script." And halfway through, I got hooked on to that script, and then I made him come back 6-7 times. I listened to it. I liked it very much. And if anybody asks me, how did you feel doing Coolie? I have only one word saying, very liberating. That's what I
Really?
tell anybody.
What do you mean?
Liberating in playing that role. There was no
Pressure.
pressure of how I act. See, for example, if I had to do Deepak's role in Kubera, there's a way this guy had to be. You know, Deepak way had to be, or way he had a cup of coffee also. There had to be a certain decency. There, everything flew out of the
Like that.
Everything flew out. The way I treat a woman flew out. Everything. And there was another part which was very liberating for me. And I could say, just shut up, get out of my face. Like that. Well, which I would never say that.
So no more Mr. Charming.
No, but it was, everybody says I was very charming in that film, in that role. This antagonist is, the way Lokesh presented me. It was very liberating for me. That's all I mean, you see, the other side.
But you know, Mr. Bachchan had told me that once. He played the bad guy in RGV Ki Aag, right? And he said there's almost like a catharsis because all the messiness inside you just take it out with these bad guys. You just, these nasty men, it all, you kind of expiate all of it, which is very interesting.
And I used
Very interesting.
Very, I asked,
Interesting take.
Lucas, do people behave like that? You want me to behave like this? He said, yes, sir. People are very evil. This is how they are.
Not in Shekhar's world.
Not in Chekar's world.
Right.
And I was doing 15 days here and I would go for 10 days shoot there.
No way.
Yes. It
So
was
you're going between these two extremes.
completely.
What fun.
Yeah, it was quite fun. It was opened me up.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
I think I probably with these two films, I've become a better actor. That's what I feel.
How
Than
lovely.
before.
And you know, what more can you ask for after working for so long to continue to evolve is
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yes, evolve, and I'm very, very sure there are going to be people coming to me with exciting roles. These two films have done this for me. I should thank Shekhar too. Open me
Thank you.
up for this.
Yeah, yeah. Shekhar, what do you do to evolve as a storyteller? Because when you were asked what are you most afraid of, you said repetition.
Correct.
Right? So now you're at the finishing line of one film. Do you then take time off? Do you kind of watch movies? What do you do to regenerate?
I don't watch many movies. Even in film school, I had this question. Like a lot of people, young students in film schools, like because film watching is pastime for us. So film school mein wahi, like you continuously watch, and I said, what are you doing? I watched 3 films kind of thing. I never was interested in watching films. So I was asking my professor, like, I don't watch films. Is there a problem with me? Then he said, no, you would probably, even he knew me. He saw my writing and all. He said, you will come up with something of your own. So don't be afraid. If you don't like to watch, don't watch. So this is my thing. So I don't watch too many films or anything. The only thing I stay rooted. I read papers. I am very socially conscious people, and I have my team, and I live in a place where I still live in a place where it has more like a
She lived 25 years ago.
Really?
Same place.
Kela wala, or like going street, that sounds and all these parks, people, gully crickets and all that happening, that kind of environment, I stay. I mean, I'm just telling you not to boast anything, but I'm just saying I keep that kind of environment around me. I have my team who just like, they criticize me like left and right, anything I say, my family, the team members, they and then talk, chat, and different stories, and read papers, read news, and very, very get affected by what's happening on a daily basis to the nation, politics, everything I keep. So stories come out of that. So newspaper news is really, it gives me some kind of, it churns me, I think anything, not newspaper, anything that incidents happen. So I take time, I drive and all, and then suddenly it occurs, "Arey, aisa kuch bolna hai." So then I start some genesis of some line. So I should tell that story kind of. So that's the only thing. I sit in the old same chair and then I try to write. So it's nothing fancy or nothing anything. I just,
You don't go to London to write.
No, I don't think so.
But is there a ritual, Shekhar? Like, would you say that, like you sit in a certain place, is there a ritual to your writing?
I sit in my father's like easy chair kind of thing. That is my sentiment, not ritual. But it's just, I just sit there and write with a pad, old that I used to when I go to school. When I went to school.
Handwriting.
No, I'm saying when I did my homeworks and all that kind of pad, and then laptop only. But I'm just saying that's the only thing that's all. I just start writing, and then. But lot of I can very proudly say I'm not influenced by any film. Sometimes my scenes might somebody would have done it earlier, but I don't watch or see. It's just that remotely, I just carve my way. I just find scenes. I just write scenes. So this story also, you'll know how come Shekhar made this kind of thing. It's just about probably my team, my environment, my friend, and like they who just throw in new things, and then I take it up. So there's nothing. But I feel just this is for directors who want to be directors and all. I think that's sensitive, like being sensitive, being very reactive and sensitive, what's happening, and not sitting in a very closed, they call it in Telugu Addala Meda, whatever, that glass houses, and then saying being elite and all. I don't think stories will come, and that too in our country, I guess. I believe that. So you have to be sensitive, music, reading, or that kind of things. This is for youngsters.
You have to open yourself up.
Yeah. Be sensitive, and then very tolerant, very inclusive. All these natures are really necessary for a
To be a good
filmmaker.
filmmaker.
Yes, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. You may make like violent, whatever kind of genre, but you have to be reactive. Actually, you should get affected by people suffering or whatever.
But you're very clear that cinema has a social responsibility,
Yes.
right? You've said it's a duty,
Yes.
right? But there are enough artists who will say, no, the cinema is not a sermon in a church. It's entertainment, and it's there to tell you a great story. And if something you get out of it, great. But that can't be the primary purpose. Now, where do you lie in this debate?
I lie in the second. I look at cinema as an entertainment. Entertainment to people. I look at people. Especially 95% of Indian people, population who are watching the film are day to day, and they have to go through a lot of stress. So I look at people I look at film as an entertainment to them. I'm not saying that they should be seriously violent or seriously depressing. I cannot watch depressing films, seriously depressing films. But they should be entertainment. They should entertain them. Once they sit in a hall, they should go into a different world, feel it, enjoy it, go back, and
Go back with hope.
Hope is always good.
Happiness,
Hope, laughter,
laughter,
and be uplifted. That's what I would like to be. They should be uplifted. Even if a Coolie film I've done, the film should finally tell this is not the character that you should be. The wholesome film is, that's what I look at films. But I guess, and also I look at something. It's like a film. A film should be something that should be watched by many people. It's not just for the money. It's like an artist who paints it, and only it's not just for himself. It should be watched by the people, and that's how I look at. That's how I get into. And I think Sekhar has cracked that thing. Though he's saying everything, they have to be sensible, they have to be a social responsibility. But all his films, including Love Story, including the previous, they're all commercial.
Yeah.
A lot of people watch that. There's hope. They laugh.
There's rain.
Yeah, there's rain. And whether you don't know, he's one of the most successful director who has the most successful songs.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
In Telugu films.
Yeah.
Correct.
One of all his films, the songs, the music is just outstanding. Right from your Anand, no?
Yeah.
Right. I still have them on my playlist even now. And
so he's
found cracked
that.
it.
He's cracked it. Yeah.
That formula.
Yeah.
He's cracked it.
Yeah.
So he's not going away from social responsibility.
Yeah.
But in the same thing, he's showing commercial.
Yeah.
Because I feel there are some directors who are only social responsible. They want to make only movies like that, but then they won't have a song in the film. If you look
and
at
what is our cinema without song? Yeah, I agree.
If you see Love Story.
Yes. Oh my God, the terrace
dance.
The
terrace dance.
Beautiful.
Just so beautifully
so
done.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So lovely.
And that whole thing, the terrace, the romance in the terrace.
Yes.
So beautifully
just
done.
puts a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if you see the back current of that film is very serious.
It's very serious.
Very serious.
Very grim. Absolutely.
Very grim.
Yeah.
But he's showed it in such a nice way that you accept it.
Yeah.
That this thing is happening, we have to stop it.
So is this Sekhar, and he's right, you have cracked that, which is not an easy thing to crack, right? Because so many films become preachy and become too messagey, and after a while you're like, yaar, mujhe lecture nahi chahiye, right?
Correct.
When you're writing, are you conscious about, okay, this is becoming preachy? Who gives you feedback? How do you decide?
My team gives, but and also I work with, I think I create certain certain. I mean, maybe that the craft. I'm not sure I'm so conscious while writing, but my writing style is like that, and I tell a point with some kind of a very what a hard hitting like punchline or something, a small scene but big message kind of. So something worked out for me. I feel like I have to actually postmortem my what's working or not. I really maybe just. But I want to see, like Nag said, when I watch the film, I want to see a happy kind of thing, but underlying, I'm telling something kind of the rain, the mood, the moonlight. Now even my first film, they're like summer mornings, winter mornings, and we lit up like that, and then coffee.
Yeah.
And then
So you find joy in the small things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then weave a bigger thing around it or something under it. So that I feel good about it. Or else you'll feel like, kya kyun kar raha hu? Why it always bothers me. Why am I doing
Tell me, when you make a movie around wealth, does it make you in any way sort of think through your own relationship with money? Did that happen at all?
For me,
It doesn't mean much to you. For him, I know that.
it doesn't mean much.
He's already achieved sainthood.
It doesn't mean much to him at all.
It doesn't
If
give a chance.
his producer says, I don't have any money, okay, I'll spend now to the rest of the movie. He's so open like that. For him, it doesn't mean much. For wealth, my character definitely, it opened up certain things in this film. I don't want to tell me on my character. Yeah, it opened up quite a bit of...
In your life?
Not in my life, that how important and how unimportant
money is.
Yes, both.
Yeah.
Finally, as the film as it's coming to an end, it really doesn't matter to this. There's only one thing that matters: redemption. Wealth, nothing is going to give you that.
Yeah.
So it means and it does not mean, if you look at it, it's easy for me to sitting here and saying it, but you think wealth is going to solve all your problems. No.
Yeah.
That's very clear. In my film, in my character also, it's very clear.
Good.
And you anyway, beyond money.
He's beyond.
No, I don't know.
He needs it to make movies. That's about it.
That's right. It is as much of a business as it is an art.
Yeah. After I'm realizing I need that money to support like a lot of people who work for me. Things like that. So it's like it is important. I don't not saying it. No.
Yeah, you're not dismissive of it.
I'm just cool. I don't have complaints.
Yeah. I also want to ask the two of you that Telugu cinema has really peaked in the last decade, right? In fact, we just ran a story a couple of weeks ago about how Telugu cinema is the new pan-Indian cinema, as opposed to Hindi cinema, which was supposed to be was always the pan-Indian cinema. Are there, like, as two people who are, sort of pillars of this cinema, is it an exciting time just in terms of opportunity, but are there also concerns of, because Rana had once told me, that the problem with Hindi films is there's too much money. And that gets in the way because you're always, you're distracted by it. Do you have those concerns at all?
Yeah, too much money, too much technology around you sometimes I see some Telugu films which is going away from the heart of the story. It's not necessary for that scene to spend so much money or so much technology on that. But other than that, which somewhere I feel that the South Indian cinema stuck to the roots. I keep saying that they're proud of, let's say they're proud of their culture. They're not, they don't want to ape anything outside than there. and I think that helped them a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have the exposure also.
Yeah.
See, once you get an exposure to the outside rest of the world, you somewhere subconsciously, unconsciously think you have to follow that. We did not have much exposure. The directors and writers I'm talking about, they stuck to their roots. That's what happened, I feel.
South.
One of the reasons. But that can also go away.
Mm.
But I also believe everything is a cycle.
Yeah.
Everything is a cycle. We've gone through some terrible times in the Telugu field, where people were not watching in the 80s. As the late 80s, movies were terrible.
Correct.
If you remember the lyrics, the crass comedy, the dances and everything, it took a
Even in Kannada
complete-
cinema, I think Kannada, they only dub. They stopped dubbing and they reworked.
It took a very downturn. Slowly, again, if you see the lyrics in the film, most of the films, Telugu films, are very, very good. The song is very good. We don't have to dance for every song. And the clothes you're wearing, we're very rooted, all of that. Slowly, the writers and directors are coming back, and maybe that's why we took a upward swing. And this is what the Indian people want. Because sometimes when I go to the US or to any European countries, when I meet youngsters, the Gen Z generation, or people under 40, they all craving for India. They're not craving for something else.
Yeah.
They want craving for the Indian roots, Indian things. And I think somewhere we all stopped catering to that. And that's why it went down. And Telugu people took a little edge. The South Indian people.
Yes. Yes.
That's what. Even the Tamil films, some of them.
Yeah.
They're very rooted. The Tamil film, the
Malayalam
films.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very rooted. I love Malayalam films.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kannada films, some also they came back.
They came back. They bounced back again.
Yeah.
They bounce back. They're rooted.
Yeah.
It's a matter of fact for even Hindi films. It's a matter of time. It will happen. They will find a way through They always say, you have to hit rock bottom.
Before you get up again.
Yeah, and we have hit rock bottom 3 times in my 40 years. 3 times. I've seen it.
Really?
Yeah, we've hit rock bottom. I mean, because there's not much social media and all of that, people didn't notice it. We really hit rock bottom 3 times. And we had meetings, the film chamber meetings. What do we do? How do we make people come back to theaters and all of that? We all gone through that.
Happens.
It happens. I think it's just a matter of time for everything.
Shekhar, since you're scared of praise, does the success of Telugu cinema scare you in any way?
No.
You're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's like I'm proud of our Rajmouli, Sukumar. Cheering them, watching them, because we were all, we were colleagues and we've seen each other, and then suddenly they're up there, and then Hollywood getting Oscars and all.
Fantastic.
It is. It really is so lovely.
So,
I mean, it's how Mr. Rajmouli works. The way they work is. I've seen them work. I had the opportunity to do couple of scenes in a song he directed me, and it's incredible. Incredible. And Sukumar's writings are just beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a great time.
These are the people who stuck to their roots.
Correct.
If you see Sukumar's films, absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah. In fact, one of the biggest influences on you is Bapu, who was another director who really stuck. I mean, one of my earliest film memories is watching Hum Paanch.
Correct.
What a stunning retelling of the Mahabharata with like Mithun Chakravarti and Shabana and Amrish Puri.
Oh.
It was incredible.
Manohar Pandav. Oh, that was Hum Paanch.
That was Hum Paanch in Hindi. It was superb.
Correct.
There's scenes that I've never forgotten from that film. It is just so brilliantly done. It was just fantastic.
It was a revolutionary film here.
Yes, absolutely.
I watched it so many times.
Almost Chiranjeevi's launch,
Yeah.
launch, not the exact launch, but
It was
One of the key
almost.
characters.
Yeah. Key
Okay.
characters.
One last question, and then we go into the IMDb segment, which is, what do you do after? Like, how do you decompress, Shikhar, after all of this? You're now running back to your mixing theater. You're absolutely at the finish line. What are you going to do to chill?
Chill. I go home, sleep.
And that's it.
And take like 2-3. Now, actually, I'm not counting day. I don't know, Monday, Tuesday, or weekdays. Everything is
You
gone.
don't know. It's a blur.
It's a blur. Now, slowly it says, okay, Sunday, newspaper, Hindu, whatever that paper. I want to read and have coffee and sit and that's it. Then slowly.
You'll get back
I get
to
back.
life.
Yes, I get back to life.
And how long does it usually take before things start sparking again?
Like it'll take me like 2-3 months or something, and then I'll start, like, my brain starts like, what should I say, what should I tell, what is the next line, and then it goes on like that, and then I struggle one more year, whatever, this just goes on.
But what a joyful struggle it is,
Yeah,
right?
it is very enjoyable. Yes.
Yeah. Which is why we're all here. Okay, before I let you go, it's the IMDb segment in which I want both of you to tell me your top 5 films.
One of my favorite Indian Telugu films is Maya Bazaar.
Of course.
Yeah, and Sholay in Telugu and Hindi. For me, another film is my father's Moga Manasulu.
Moga Manasulu.
A very deep
Deep.
film and beautiful music. That one. And of course, Godfather.
Godfather.
And recently is Interstellar, which I read because I'm very much into science fiction buff, and I think about what's beyond Earth all the time. So Interstellar kind of gave me sense of that and the whole time loop, all of that. So I must have seen it 6-7 times at least to understand it. Then I read the book to understand it.
Yeah.
So these are a few other films. No, you tell me.
For me, Pyasa is my. In film school, I was very in awe with it's a film called David Lean's Bridge on a River Kwai, and then Schindler's Sisters, and then Dr. Zhivago, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And these are all like that kind of poet that what my film shows, like some kind of. And Hrishikesh Mukherjee's Anand, and I actually used to say that I used to, when I spoke to NFDC for funding and Anand, and like I came to Bombay funding, and I didn't have a reference, and I used to say I'll make film like Hrishikesh Mukherjee. It is like that. It's like middle class. It's like this world and how he created. But I'll make it so dreamy that I will beat him in that. That was a pitch. So it's actually really true, actually, and that's what I tried, and that's what I probably succeeded also.
How lovely.
But he was more fun-rooted, humor and all rooted. I made it dreamier, but the core essence is the kind of.
So you're the Telugu Hrishikesh Mukherjee.
I don't do anything, but I just
That's so lovely. Thank you so much to both of you, and cannot wait to see Kubera.
Me too. You have watched. You haven't showed it to me yet.
Genuinely, thank you.
Thank you.